Welcome to the Heritage Alliance Architectural Salvage Warehouse. The warehouse is located here in Jonesboro on Depot Street, and it's at the intersection of 3rd Avenue. Now, the warehouse operations serve as a repository for old building materials that have been salvaged and repurposed from buildings that are being torn down or dismantled. And the materials brought here, and then it's made available to people who are doing restorations or repairs to period houses in the area. Now, some of the things that we have in inventory here are site-made brick. A site-made brick is most of the time, and what we have now is pre-Civil War, but it was made up until the 1870s or 1880-ish, and after that, brick was made in factories and then delivered to the sites. Some of the other things that we have here, over in that area over there, we've got some windows, various sizes and shapes, many different configurations. Here in the center section, we have quite a few doors, both interior and exterior. We have a large amount of lumber and flooring, beadboard, siding, that type of thing. Now we've moved towards the back here. We have some roof tins over here, and those are 1900-ish, and they were in very good shape, but removed from a local house, and we've got probably 400 or 500 square feet of that material here. Further back, we have some mantelpieces. What you're seeing on this side are basic mantelpieces, and on the other side, we have some that have mirrored overmantels with them. Right now, we have half a dozen or so available. We also have fixtures. We have some lighting. There's a little chandelier there. We've got some sinks. And from time to time, we even get clawfoot bathtubs, although they usually go quite quickly when folks find out that we've got them. Thank you all for watching this little piece of video with us. The warehouse is open with scheduled hours during the summer. We're available throughout the whole year by appointment. If you're interested in the warehouse operations or would like to come down and visit, you can reach us at the Heritage Alliance, 423-753-9580. Now in just a minute, we're going to ride down to the other side of Jonesboro, and we're going to visit a house that has had several components from here used in the restoration process that's going on there. Okay everyone, we're back. We're here at the Willet house, which is located behind the old courthouse here in Jonesboro. This house was built by George Willet in the late 1840s. It is made of site-made brick that we previously talked about. After the Willets owned it, A.S. Murray bought it, and off to your viewing right was the livery stable. And there's a lot of history about that as well. It continued in the Murray family for many, many decades, and 3 or 4 years ago, the house was purchased by Dana and Ralph Billington. I'd like to introduce Ralph Billington to you. In a moment here, he's going to be gracious enough to take us on a tour and show some of the work that he's been doing and plans to continue to do. And I'd like to make a note here that this is a private residence and it is not open to the public. So anybody that might drive by or so forth, please respect that. It is private property. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ralph, and we'll go check out a few places inside.
Yeah. And if we are here, you can come ask, and we probably will let you take a look around. But please don't just walk in, which has happened. So I'll show you a few things that we've done, particularly the things that
Whatever you would like to showcase.
that I've used from your material.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the brick.
Yep.
We've used 1,200 of your bricks on various parts of the house. The biggest consumption of bricks is in the kitchen. the biggest parts of the rebuild was to stabilize this end of the house, all the way from that window there around to this doorway was floating on sand, where the old bricks had disintegrated over the centuries, particularly this fireplace. So these are all bricks that we've taken from your centre, 1,200 of them in total, and the fireplace is now built all the way down to a new foundation. And we removed the floor in the kitchen in order to be able to build the foundation and complete the fireplace. There was also 2 doors over here on this wall. One was a pantry and one was a access for an apartment that was upstairs. Both of those have now been bricked up. And this is back to how the kitchen probably was, except for there used to be a door right behind your left shoulder. So there was a door open to the pasture before the railroad was built. And we will not be putting the door back. We'll leave it the way it is. Are you ready? All right. So the room you're looking at now is off the kitchen. We think it was the original dining room. We've built a small half bath over in the opposite corner, just to make it more convenient for folks in modern times. And then behind you, as you pan around, we're standing in the living room, or one of the formal living rooms, with probably the nicest mantel that we have in the house. 2 of the mantels we have from you guys are upstairs, and we'll show those in just a second. As we walk through here, we have a nice big central hallway, and then what I think was another sitting room, probably a parlour. Typically in those days they would have a formal living room and then a more casual living room. Now this room has got its original fireplace and an original closet, and we've added a half bath over in the corner, but this room is original. And the floor is as it was back in those days. We've stripped the modern floor off the top of it, and we're planning to do that with almost all of the rooms in the house. The ceiling is also original, and we'll be stripping and finishing when we get to it. Right now the biggest job is plastering. So you can tell that it's half plastered and a little bit of a mess. So at the back of the property, when we purchased it, there was a remnants of the original 2-story porch that had been panelled in and had windows fitted for living space. So we've demolished that because it wasn't salvageable and replaced it with a more original looking, nice wide 2-story deck, which isn't finished like many things, but soon will be. The floors up here in the hallway and in that bedroom are the original, untouched. The one on the right hand side has got the more modern oak on top of it, which we will be removing because I prefer this old wide pine boards that's in this bedroom. So upstairs the mantels were not as ornate as downstairs, and we lost 2 of them over the years, and you can tell we kind of sort of lost this door too. So one of the things that we've taken advantage of your warehouse from is replacing the doors. So we actually have this and 3 other doors that will exactly match. I also have 2 mantels, which I'll show you in a second, that both came from you guys too. So this is a bedroom with its ensuite bathroom. This is another bedroom with a mantel that's missing, which we'll be replacing with one of these that's sitting in this room over here. And as we walk through, you'll see more what the condition of the actual house was like. So, as you pan around this room, I'm not as far along. And this is the original plaster and the original wallpaper and paint hanging on. So these are the mantels that I've purchased from you guys, and they'll replace the room that's behind you and the fireplace that's over here. when we first purchased the house, we actually thought that this might date back older than I think it now does. I originally thought perhaps this was slave quarters. It has a staircase that goes down just here behind the door. But I think it was actually part of the modifications that was done in the 50s to turn the house into apartments. So I think this was a separate access, and this was a kitchen, and through there the bathroom, and then behind you the bedroom. I think that was a part of this this apartment. So we'll be keeping the layout of this room. Not quite sure what the function of it will be, and you can tell we haven't done a lot in here. This is pretty much the same as it was when we purchased it. So many of the ceilings are in pretty bad shape, but it's only patches where the old roof used to leak. First thing we did was put a new roof on, get the house watertight, which stopped the deterioration, and we have replacement boards from your warehouse. So we're ready to fix the ceilings when I get to that item. There is something through in the front bedroom that I think is worth showing you. Throughout the house, wherever there's a window frame or a skirting board or a doorway, there are hickory blocks inserted between the bricks so that you can nail to them. Over in that corner behind you, as we were removing the plaster, we found what happened to one of those hickory blocks. So here's an original block that was not damaged, and here's one that the fire, in the late 1850s, I think, was when the fire came through Jonesboro. And these blocks were still in the wall. So we took the baseboard down, ripped off all the plaster, and found just how extensive the fire damage was. So it started like that, ended like that. So that fire must have been raging for hours, I would imagine, because this was in the blockwork and was turned into nothing. I think that's